Okay, sorry about the shaky picture. This is a MKZ 2014 all-wheel drive. Steering rack failure, as everybody is starting to find out. I drove it for a while with that grindy noise, and then it finally just gave up the ghost. So I decided to tackle it myself. I saw some videos, and everybody's doing it on the lift. One guy did it on the street, which I was impressed. So I'm up on a set of quick jacks, but I'm pretty sure if you get this car high enough on jack stands, you're not going to have a problem doing it. So I ordered the Detroit axle rebuilt. We'll see how it goes. There's the two units, the one I removed. These tie rod ends are a pain in the ass to remove, so I'm going to probably just order new ones. And then just do a quick measure from, there's a line here to that, and just get a rough estimate to get it aligned. If you can get them off, it makes it a little bit easier sliding out. You'll notice here, there's a rubber boot that goes on. It's filled with grease in here. I think pretty much just to protect water intrusion, because this goofy ass boot, I mean, it just literally presses against the firewall. There's not, it's not attached to a metal lip, nothing. It's pretty weird. And it's notched here. You can't see, there it is. And it goes into the two notches here. So it basically does something like that. I got it the wrong way. Yeah, like that. So you kind of got to shove that on right before you slide it, and, well, after you slide it in and then flip it up. It's not that bad. The one thing I did notice, and somebody else pointed it out, a lot of these rebuilt racks are coming with these Torx bolts. And I think somebody was saying they upgraded them to these regular bolts just on the motor. I think there's, yeah, one more back there. Being as they said these were snapping. So just out of caution, I am going to swap these bolts with that one. It's not bad. Now, mind you, this car is all-wheel drive. Okay, there's plenty of room in there. I loosened the front mounts, the subframe mount, and it gave me more than enough room to lower it with a jack. I did take these screws out to move the sway bar just enough to get it out of the way. The only thing that bothers me is these bolts that go in here. The ones I took from here were pretty corroded. Actually, the other ones on the other side I'm having a hard time to get out. And the problem there is those bolts hold this bushing on. So if you have to replace your control arm, those have to come out. So I'm having a hard time on the other side, but I'm spraying, I'm soaking, I'm going to use a little heat. I'm not taking them off on that side because I don't need to, but I'm going to take them out, anti-seize them, and put them back in because I know eventually I'm going to have to change these arms because the bushing in here is pretty much shot. Let me see if I can get a little view from underneath. Bear with me. All right, this doesn't look like much, but following some of the other videos I listened to, I loosened this mount. I was going to take the torque bushing out because I thought, oh, it's only 2 bolts here and there, but this bolt started getting funky on me coming out, and I didn't want to strip it, so I left it. I live up in the Northeast, and it's not, you know, we do get salt on the roads, but these fasteners didn't look too bad. Luckily, all of the subframe bolts came out without an issue. But you can see there's a lot of room here, and again, there's the PTO. I was wondering, everybody, that video that they did wasn't all-wheel drive, but that PTO is not in the way whatsoever. The only thing I suggest is put a jack stand on your muffler so you're not over-straining those flex pipe, because the flex pipe on mine, looking like that might be the next big project. But otherwise, seriously, you can do this in your driveway, in your garage. It's not bad at all. It is not bad at all. And again, I'm going to use Forescan to program it. I was playing around with the old rack after I cleared all the errors, and I used it downloaded the built as data, and I made it write it to it just to see if it worked, and it did. I am tempted to, the harness for the rack is right here. Okay, there's the power, and that's data and control. I was thinking of sliding the rack under the car to program it and make sure it works, but I've got a sneaking suspicion the encoder on the steering wheel and the encoder on the rack have to match kind of closely. So if I don't put that in and it's off a little bit, it may start throwing a shit ton of error codes, or it may not let it read or write it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try hooking it up and doing it. I mean, you have the ability to clear all the trouble codes and stuff. But like I said, you see, there's a lot of room dropping this down and loosening the front mounts. I just want to make sure I can get these two bolts out, even though, like I told you, they hold the other end. It's the control arm on this end and the sway bar on the other. They're not coming out with an impact, and I'm a little nervous on that. So I'm soaking them, heating them. I'm going to loosen them, because again, I know probably next year these control arms are going to need replacement. But so yeah, don't be afraid to tackle it. And yes, if you get one from the junkyard, you may get lucky and it may work. Plug and play, I doubt it. The only problem is, I mean, if you have a car that doesn't have the auto park and all the fancy stupid shit, that lane keeping and stuff like that, then yeah, you'll probably be okay. But it's not very hard to program them, and I would program using Forescan and use the as-built data. It'll go out and get it already after it reads your VIN, and you can use it and just hit write all, and boom, done. Now, mind you, get a free 2-month extended license. That's what you need to program this module. The regular Forescan without the extended license only lets you clear codes and look at a few things. I'm telling you, Forescan's extended license is worth it. It's $12 for a year. You can change the adaptive learning on the transmission. You can tell it to stop learning adaptive shifting, because that seems to be what happens. This thing starts to ride smooth, and then bing, bang, boom, it starts slam shifting for no reason, and you reset that, and it runs good for a little bit. And then, so you can get it to where it's running nice and disable it. But nonetheless, yeah. So again, EPS system, all-wheel drive, yeah, you can do it. It's not that bad. It's a little time consuming. There's a lot to take out, but I suggest spraying everything with, liquid wrench or your favorite rust buster. And so